Hey everyone, my name is Hollie Fulsom. I'm the safety specialist at San Jacinto College, and we're here at my home. I'm going to show you how to make an emergency preparedness kit. Every year I always tell you to go home and make your kit, and I give you a list of items, but this year I'm actually going to show you how I make mine. Now I know most of you are probably like half of my family members and get tired of me telling you every year to go home and make your kit. But if you're thinking that you have plenty of time to get the stuff before the storm, remember there's about 12 other people just like you who also think that they have plenty of time. They're all going to be rushing out and the stuff is not going to be available. So take an hour of your time, sit down, and put your kit together now and be ready for an emergency whenever it comes. These kits can be used for more than just a hurricane. They can be used for a tornado or some random winter storm that we may have down here in Texas. Whatever the case may be, it's good to have, and if you've already made yours, then this is a great time to update it with new food, new information, and new medicine. So when you're putting together your kit, you should make sure that you have 3 days worth of food and water per person. Now I'm just a party of one, so this kit is specific to me. So make sure when you're making your kit at home, you adjust it for you and your family. For me, I make sure that I always have a pack of water. I love myself the Nestle water pack. So I keep that in my car at all times because I never know whenever I may need it. This is a basic first aid kit. It has band-aids, ointments, bandages, nothing too fancy. If you have a real emergency, you always want to dial 911. Another thing to have that's really good and handy is a toolkit. In case anything comes up and you have to make a quick repair or you need to get something tied down or anything that may come up, it's always good to have on hand. To go with that, you always need duct tape. While I'm talking about tape, one thing that they found out that is not useful anymore is taping our windows. You've all seen it driving down. Somebody didn't have time to board up or maybe just didn't want to, and they put the tape on the windows. It really doesn't do anything for it. It usually just makes a sticky mess. Another really important thing to have is a weather radio. This weather radio has a hand crank, so that way if the batteries run out and I can't charge it, I can just crank it up and ta-da! It works. These are really great to have on hand. It also has a radio, so when the power's out and I can't watch TV, I can listen to the weather reports. As we all remember after Ike, when we had weeks and weeks without power, all of the news stations went to the radio. Another really important thing to have is to make sure you get all of your important documents together. I keep all of my documents in this handy dandy folder, and if I ever need it, I can always grab it. But what happens if I lose the folder or it gets lost in a storm? There's lots of different ideas on how to document it. One way is to use your camera and to take video. So I keep my camera on hand and I can do a video, take pictures of all the documents, also scan and upload them online. Another important use for your camera is documenting all of your stuff that you have for insurance, which is part of your important documents. We want to make sure you have the most accurate and detailed information you can for your insurance specialists whenever they come out. If you have any damage or you have any loss, it's really great to have this really well documented. So at the beginning of every hurricane season, it's great to go through and just have a fresh copy done. And if during hurricane season you add anything substantial to your property, maybe you get a new TV or even a new car, anything that's going to be on your property, you want to go ahead and add that to it, whether you take another picture or you make a new video, whatever works for you. And then what do you do with that? Well, you could make a hard copy, put it on a disc, and keep that with your emergency kits. But there are also new ways with technology that you can do this. One, you can actually videotape it with your smartphone. Everyone has the video app on their phone, so you can actually make the video with your phone, keep it with you. What happens if your phone dies and you can't charge it? Well, that's where there's even more technology coming in. Now you can go online, and there's all kinds of different websites. This specific website is called SkyDrive. It's by Windows Live. You can go online and update and add all different kinds of documents, files, movies, and then you can access them from anywhere. All you have to do is log in with your Live account. There's also Dropbox. It can be used for all different things. These are pictures of my nieces and nephews that I sent my brother-in-law, but you can put all kinds of files in there and you can access them, and both of these are free services. In addition to having all of these copies of all of your important documents backed up, One great way to make sure that just in case anything happens, you have an extra copy, you can send it to a designated relative that lives out of the area, possibly like in Austin or San Antonio. If you have an aunt or cousin or someone that lives there that wouldn't mind keeping a backup of all of these, it's a great idea to go ahead and send that to them at the beginning of the season. In addition to sending all of your stuff there, that's also a great person to have as an emergency contact. Just someone for your entire family to check in. Oftentimes we all evacuate to different places. It's good to have one place for everyone to call and say, hey Mom, I'm okay, or hey Aunt Tilda, I'm okay. And that way we can keep track of each other. Another way of keeping track of each other is social media. Facebook and Twitter have been really crucial lately in these emergency situations that have arisen. With all the tornadoes that have gone crazy, Hurricane Irene, it really became a way to keep track of everybody. And also for news media to report situations that were going on. So if you have a Facebook or Twitter account, it's also a great way to keep in touch with your family. If you have the apps on your phone, there's another way to get in touch. So make sure that you use all of these different kinds of ways to keep in contact, and that's just an extension of making your emergency preparedness kit. Once you have everything documented, and you have it backed up, and then that backed up, and that backed up, you should be good to go no matter what happens. So moving back to our kit, what else do we need? Well, besides having just water, we also need non-perishable foods. Now, don't judge my stock of non-perishable foods here. One of the things that I've done is gone through what I had, and I've also made a list for my next grocery shopping trip because I still have one more week till hurricane season starts. But some suggestions and ideas: some tuna fish, you can never go wrong with a peanut butter sandwich. Of course, the ramen, which contrary to belief can be eaten raw, and can of soup. Great idea for snacks is nice cereal. You don't need milk, just put it in a baggie and the kids can eat it on the run. And of course, bread for sandwiches. You always want to have some way to sanitize everything. So I have some Clorox disinfecting wipes. You can use bleach and water. Different ways to keep everything sanitized while we are out of power. In addition to that, you always want to make sure you have your handy dandy flashlight, because we all know what it's like to not have power. It stinks, and it gets really dark at night. You don't really realize until you're stuck in a house without electricity for 3 weeks. You want to also make sure you have an extra set of clothes and a pair of closed-toed shoes. Now, what do you do when you have all this together? Well, you find something to put it in. This bag is a great tool. It's waterproof, 100%. You can spill something in there, dump it out, and it's great. So this is a great tool to have. If you get stuck in the rain, you can just run in. You put all of your stuff inside the bag, zip it up, and you're ready to go. Now I can take my hurricane kit anywhere I go, and if I have to evacuate, if I have to come back, it's easy, it's ready to go, and I have it. At the end of hurricane season, if there's anything that will expire, possibly food or medications, I can take those out and replace them with updated ones and get ready to do it again. So if you already have your kit, you may just want to go through and make sure you need anything to be updated, or if you need some new food, some new options, or if you need to add to it. Maybe you've added a family member. That brings me along to our pets. I will be adding a pet on this weekend, and that's not something I've ever had to do before, but we want to make sure that our pets have the same needs and everything that we have to have. So I'm going to be making sure that he has enough food and water to last him for 3 days, a kennel and a leash and a proper dog tag, all of his vet records, and these are all things that you need to make sure you have for each of your pets too. We never want to leave a pet behind during evacuation, so make sure that you have all the stuff that they will need, just like you will, that will last for up to 3 days. Besides updating your foods, another thing that should be included and also often updated are your prescriptions. If you have any prescriptions that are required for you to take daily or even monthly, make sure that you have the latest prescriptions available on hand. Oftentimes, doctors will go ahead and give you a prescription for 3 months or more, and you can tell your pharmacist that it's hurricane season and you're getting prepared, and they'll usually help you out and make sure that you have enough to last you. So make sure to do all this ahead of time so that whenever everyone's rushing at the last minute, you don't get stuck without medicine that you really need. And make sure that you have cash on hand. How many of you do not ever keep cash in your wallet? I am very, very bad about this. When I have cash, I feel like I have to spend it. It's a really bad habit. But whenever it's hurricane season, it's really important to have on hand because, as you may remember, there is no electricity, so there's no credit card machines, no debit machines, and it's really the only way to get stuff. If you run out of gas for your generators, if you run out of food or water, because sometimes it just takes a while to get everything back up and running. It's really good to have on hand. So always keep a little stash of cash just in case of an emergency.